Alright, so uh, once again, I'll start with a look at the presets. And bounding box just gives an outline of the object, or just a now it's not really a bounding box, it's just a flat white object, as you can see. Depth map, if you needed any depth effects, you have a depth map where objects closer to camera are lighter gray and geometry that's farther away is darker. We can also have like a illustrated look. Actually, this is better with just a flat, untextured object, but you can play around with that by yourself. Here's a wireframe view, so we can see all of the edges in our model, and yeah, here's the same thing but with vertices. Just another wireframe view. Okay, so you can see that there's a number of different ways that we can have our objects render. Back to default. Alright, so to break this down, here you have like the cartoon. You can display a normal representation, unlit, where there's no shading on this. Okay, and have it with lighting only. So this just doesn't have any color on it. And then we can have the lines and points like our wireframe views. Alright, now for the environment settings. We can adjust our levels. So if we didn't want our shadows to be completely dark, open up this color picker, and I like to keep it around 30 for the ambient color. So that gives us a little bit brighter shadows, but it also makes them kind of flat and low contrast. So I'll just leave it black for now. That's fine. And then we have our IBL, or our image-based light, or image-based lighting. So if we check this, and then we can load a new HDR image, and this will cast light from the image to illuminate our scene. So for this I'm going to use the Room B Creative IBL, and I downloaded these from photoshop.com/product/photoshop/3D. And so if you can't remember all that, click open. You can go into 3D menu, and click on Get More Content, and it'll take you to that website, and you can download these IBLs and materials and some basic scenes. Alright, so there are two types of IBLs that you can get from Photoshop.com, the traditional and the creative. And so this is instead of a real image, it's more of a creative rendering, but this will still give us a not quite realistic but more interesting creative look. Alright, so we can also go down to our light. I'm going to change this a little. Okay. Come back up to environment. And notice that you can change the intensity. You can set it way up or way down. I'm going to use about 75% for a little bit darker look, and actually bring this down quite a bit so we can kind of add some light to this image-based light. And I'll just go ahead and make it a slight blue color. Right. We have our shadows, and we can set this softness level pretty high because we're using these broad diffuse light sources. And okay, so if you can see this, we're going to adjust our ground plane shadows, and I want these to be a bit darker, so bring the opacity up. And also our reflections for this ground plane, we can kind of add those in. So now our plane there is just a little bit reflective, and make those reflections more diffuse. Okay. And now under our background, we can load in a background image, or we can click on Set IBL as background. Alright, nice. And I'm going to rotate this view around. Before I rotate the view though, I can move this IBL, zoom out. So you can see that moving around. And we get a bit different lighting depending on where it is. Let's see if I move my camera. Alright. And then just kind of try to line up this IBL. Alright. Move it up. Oh, I need to actually rotate this instead of simply moving it. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, so a little more. That.